This is a recap of Unit 1, Section 2, Practice. This is the blank document, which contains an error at the end. The error runs get name before it's defined, as we described in the last video. Is not acceptable in Python. All definitions must be defined before they can be used. Let's move on to the completed module for functions, arguments, and parameter practice. In the first one, they had already defined the short rhyme and gave us two blank print statements. We added a rhyming statement, and when we run that, we should get our two print statements output. Line 6 calls the function. On line 2, outputs the print statements, and then we return to the next line of code. We define a titleIt. We pass it a message. That message is printed out. And so here's the call. Notice that it has mixed case, and title will make it all the first characters will be capitalized, all other characters will be lowercase. So it starts on line 7, runs line 4, and returns to line 8. And it should put Guardians of the Galaxy with a capital G, O, T, and G. Get user input prompts. What is the title? Call the titleIt using the input for the string argument. So in the last one, we output it with hard code. This time we're going to get user input, and it will call the same function. The way these notebooks work, once you define a function, even in a different cell, it is then available for you to use. So we'll run that. We'll put in all lowercase. And it should output it out with a upper capital letter for each word. Define titleIt return, which returns the title string instead of printing it. Okay, so remember, whenever you make a call, that whole function call will take on the value. So we're going to run it again. We've already defined message in the previous cell, and it should output it and have the same output. Create a short program called Bookstore. Take two string arguments, book and price. Bookstore returns a string in a sentence form. Bookstore should call titleIt return with a book parameter. Gather the input for book entry and price entry to use in the calling Bookstore. Print the return value of Bookstore. So we created or defined a function called Bookstore with two parameters, book and price, and we're going to return titleIt, which we defined above, with book plus cost plus price. And so we should get the book title in the proper format plus the cost of the book. I'm going to do the catcher in the rye. Notice I only upcase the first letter. It should give me upcase on all of them. Hit enter. How much does that book cost? It's going to be $10. And we should get the catcher in the rye cost $10. And if you remember correctly, we looked at the incomplete one, and we have the call inside the defs. We have now moved all of the defs to the top and make the call on line 15. We run that. We should enter a name. Hello, how are you? And we should get the greeting with the output of the username.